The sun burned hot over the valley of Elah. The air was thick with the tension of war as the armies of Israel and the Philistines faced each other from opposite hills. The valley between them echoed with the taunts of a giant, Goliath of Gath, a warrior towering over 9 feet tall, his bronze armor gleaming like fire. Each morning for 40 days, his voice had thundered across the valley, challenging Israel to send out a champion. Fear gripped the hearts of the Israelites. Even King Saul, their tallest and bravest, trembled in silence. In the hills of Bethlehem, a boy named David tended his father's sheep. Barefoot and tanned by the sun, his youthful frame hid a heart of extraordinary courage. He had fought lions and bears to protect the flock and spent countless hours playing his harp under the stars, singing praises to the God of Israel. David's father, Jesse, called to him one morning. "David, my son," Jesse said, "take this roasted grain and bread to your brothers at the battlefield. Check on their welfare and bring back news of the war." David's brothers, Eliab, Abinadab, and Shammah, were soldiers in Saul's army. Though much older and stronger, they looked down on their youngest sibling, the shepherd boy. David gathered the provisions and set out at dawn. The journey to the valley of Elah took 2 days, and as he approached the Israelite camp, the sound of Goliath's taunts echoed in the distance. David arrived just as the army of Israel lined up to face the Philistines. Goliath stepped forward, his voice booming across the valley.
"Why have you come out to line up for battle? Am I not a Philistine, and you the servants of Saul? Choose a man to fight me. If he can kill me, we will serve you. But if I prevail, you shall serve us."
The Israelites cowered, their courage drained. David, astonished at the sight, turned to a nearby soldier.
"Who is this uncircumcised Philistine that he should defy the armies of the living God?"
The soldier shook his head. "He's Goliath of Gath, undefeated in battle. No one dares face him." David's oldest brother, Eliab, overheard and approached angrily. "Why have you come here, David? Shouldn't you be watching those few sheep in the wilderness? I know your pride and the wickedness of your heart." David replied calmly.
"What have I done now? Can't I even speak?"
He turned away, asking others the same question. Word of David's boldness reached King Saul, and the young shepherd was summoned. David stood before Saul, his confidence striking despite his youth.
"Let no one lose heart. Because of this Philistine, your servant will go and fight him."
Saul, taken aback, shook his head. "You are not able to fight him. You are but a youth, and he has been a warrior since his youth." David stepped closer, his eyes fierce. "Your servant has killed lions and bears while tending my father's sheep. When they came to take a lamb, I struck them and rescued it from their mouths. This Philistine will be like one of them, for he has defied the armies of the living God. The Lord who delivered me from the paw of the lion and the bear will deliver me from the hand of this Philistine." Saul, moved by David's faith, said, "Go, and may the Lord be with you." He offered David his armor, but it was too heavy. David removed it and chose instead his staff, sling, and 5 smooth stones from a brook. As David approached the battlefield, Goliath laughed derisively.
"Am I a dog, that you come at me with sticks? Come here, and I will give your flesh to the birds of the air and the beasts of the field."
"You come against me with sword, spear, and javelin, but I come against you in the name of Jehovah, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. Today Jehovah will deliver you into my hands. I will strike you down and cut off your head. The whole world will know there is a God in Israel."
Goliath charged, his massive frame shaking the ground. David ran toward him, reaching into his pouch for a stone. Placing it in his sling, he whirled it with precision, honed from years of practice. The stone flew through the air and struck Goliath squarely in the forehead. The giant stumbled and fell face first to the ground. Silence fell over the valley as the Philistines watched their champion defeated. David stood over Goliath, drew the giant's sword and cut off his head. Holding it high, he shouted,
"The Lord has delivered us."
The Israelite army surged forward, chasing the fleeing Philistines and securing victory. David's victory over Goliath marked the beginning of his rise to prominence. He became a commander in Saul's army, winning battle after battle. Yet his fame bred jealousy in Saul, who feared David's growing influence. David's life became a journey of trials, Saul's attempts to kill him, years of living as a fugitive, and the weight of leadership thrust upon him at a young age. Through it all, David's faith in God never wavered. He grew from a boy shepherd into a warrior, a poet, and eventually, the king of Israel. His psalms became a testament to his unwavering trust in the Lord, and his story, a legacy of courage and faith. Years later, as king, David would reflect on the moment that changed his life, the day a shepherd boy stood against a giant. He would teach his people that it was not his skill, nor the stone, nor his bravery that brought victory, but the power of the living God. And so the story of David and Goliath would be told for generations, not just as a tale of courage, but as a reminder that with faith, even the smallest can overcome the mightiest.